Hello everybody. Time for another patch update. We are currently looking at the Mason plant, which is doing pretty well. Let's see here. What can we say about it? It's not as green as I would like it, but for this plant, it's actually, especially the center, it's been the greenest it's been in a good week or two. So in that sense, it's doing pretty well. The As well as the aging of the center of the plant and slight disease issues, actually pretty good. It's been pretty slow. It really hasn't spread too far out, so that is not bad for this time of the year for me. So let's go over to the front of the plant and look at the pumpkin and see how it's doing. Alright, we'll get a nice side shot of the Mason pumpkin while I read you its numbers for the week. And I would like to note that both pumpkins are starting to reach old age. They've slowed down a little bit. They've dropped, I would say, about 15, not 15, that would be awful. About 5 pounds since from what they were typically doing. Well, actually, from last week's average, let's see, what was that? Oh, they only dropped about 2.25 pounds per day average, so it's not awful, but it's noticeable. And I have a feeling that it's just gonna, hopefully very, very slowly, continue to drop for the next now 32 days until it gets picked for the weigh off. So without further ado, let's get to the Mason's pumpkins numbers for the week. It is currently at day 47, and its estimate weight is 751.5 pounds. And today, which it's been doing for the past, I think it's like the day 3 of it doing of this gain, I should say, is 17.5 pounds today. So basically, it's been doing that for the last 3 days. Basically, all weekend it did that. And it only grew 115.5 pounds, which averaged 16.5 pounds. So it is definitely starting to drop off. So I should still get a pump. Both of them should. This one more so than the Barlow should get to 1,000 pounds, just over 1,000 pounds. And as long as the Mason pumpkin, stays healthy from here on out, I feel that it should go heavy. Not much, not enough to make a huge difference, but it just has that look and that feel to it that it'll go a little on the heavy side. It also is still doing a lot of cantalouping. There are some spots that it can stop doing that, and I'll bring you in a little closer and show you what I mean. It's still fine, and they're drying up very quickly, but those are a little more nerve-wracking than just a typical cantalouping. And here, I'll bring you in a little closer see what I'm talking about. All right, like, whoa, where's my finger? There it is. Like this, as you can see, it is literally skin deep, and it's already drying out. But it has that one, and that one's actually pretty much healed up. That one's on the verge of healing up. That one, if it focuses, is working on being like that, but it just has a lot of that ooze that comes out. And it's kind of hard, just, I don't know if we can see it. No, I can't see from over here. But there's a nice one over there. You can kind of see it. There, it focused. If I can find my finger right there. So there's that one, and it's dried. It just has its leftover scarring on there, but they are healing, so that's the main thing. And as far as the stem goes, stem is looking pretty good still. And we're getting, on the front of the pumpkin, we're getting more green colors starting to show up on here. So there you have it. There's, ooh, very close up shot of, but that is the Mason pumpkin up close and personal. So next I will take you on over to the Barlow. Alright, take a quick peek at the Barlow's plant. Hopefully this is coming out alright. The sun is, I think, washing out a lot of the leaves a little bit, but yeah, it's getting quite the little jungle of leaves. But they are, believe it or not, they're very dark green leaves, decently dark green leaves. And I don't know if you can totally see that, but just a very thin strip, just like that leaf, sporadically down the main vine of aging and sickly looking leaves. Other than that, the rest of this plant is doing beautifully. So as of right now, this plant should easily make it to the way off time, and so will the Mason plant too. Realistically, that'll make it just fine. Both of them will. So now I'll bring you on up over to the Barlow. All right, here we are. It still has my favorite shape and color of a pumpkin, but like always, this guy always was always just a little under what the Mason pumpkin has always done, especially early on. About 2 weeks, for about a couple of days, maybe a week, though the two pumpkins were basically neck and neck. They actually are still pretty close, but the Mason pumpkin definitely gains a little bit more. But all being said, it's still doing pretty good. So this pumpkin is on day 48, and its current weight is at 748, and today it also gained 17.5 pounds. And in total this week it grew 112 pounds with an average of 16 pounds per day. Um, so if you go by age wise for pumpkins, the pumpkins, the Mason pumpkin has always done better because it's a day younger and it is 3.5 pounds heavier today. So in a sense, if you go by what they gained today, the Mason pumpkin is actually technically about 21 pounds heavier if you go per day. If he actually does put another 17.5 pounds on tomorrow. So that, in that sense, the Mason pumpkin's been doing better, but they're both gonna get picked on the same day, which is, because I already measured them, now it's 32 days until they get picked. They're big, I consider them basically tied, weight wise. So it will actually be pretty interesting to see which one will go to chart, or heaven forbid under. Don't want under. But if I were to put any money on it, I would say the Mason pumpkin will go heavy, even though the mother of this pumpkin did go 17% heavy. Not saying that that'll actually happen, because that would be awesome, but it won't. I feel this pumpkin's gonna go to chart, and that the Mason pumpkin will go at least maybe 5% heavy. So let's see what happens. What, about 4.5 weeks from now? Almost 5? Yeah, we'll see what happens in 5 weeks. But I just have that feeling that the Barlow will go to chart maybe 1% under, and the Mason pumpkin will go about 5% heavy. Just by the way the Mason looks and feels when you thump it, as well as the same as for this Barlow. So yeah, we'll see how how that comes about. But anyways, there really isn't any issues with this pumpkin. Well, the Mason pumpkin didn't have any issues either. It just loves cantaloupe. This guy, not so much, which is cool. It's keeping this nice smooth skin. But I think it was between Saturday night into Sunday, I'm gonna assume some furry little critter, right, get on focus, right there we go. I think took a little nibble. That, or that has to be from a little creature that took a little nibble out of it. I don't think I would be able to get my foot under there or anything to nick it. It's possible, but that's really the only war wound that's here. And come on, focus. There we go. And I'm not 100% sure which it is. If it's a little furry creature that nibbled on it and only did it in one spot, or if I unknowingly did that, or what. But there it is. But it's dry. I mean, it's harmless. It's just there. But that's really the only thing that's going on with this guy. So there you have it, guys. That's just about all that's going on with the pumpkins for this week. So until next week, guys, I'll see you later. Bye bye.